Howdy, welcome to my channel. This is a little challenge run I made up where I'm using the in-game clock on the Pip-Boy to see if I can get to the Battle of Hoover Dam within 24 hours. The reason it's the start of the Battle of Hoover Dam and not the entire end of the game is because no matter when you say you want to start the Battle of Hoover Dam, it always sets the time to 2 o'clock, and I couldn't find a way to get there before midnight and trigger it on the same day. So let's see if we can get from Good Springs all the way to Vegas, talk to all the major factions, and trigger the battle for Hoover Dam within 24 hours. But before we go any further, I just want to say thank you for watching this video. It's very cool of you. Stick around, see if there's anything you like here. You're going to want to start the run by aiming just right at the Yangtze Memorial like this, and while we're heading that direction, I'm going to explain a little bit more about the run. I started off by making my courier look like Doc Mitchell, and giving him the special 1 strength, 1 perception, 2 endurance, 10 charisma, 10 intelligence, 6 agility, and 10 luck. For my skills, I'm going to take speech, survival, and melee weapons. And for my traits, I chose good nature and skilled. The rules of the run are pretty simple, and you get to the Battle of Hoover Dam before 8 AM on the following day from when you wake up. The run officially begins the moment you end your conversation with Doc Mitchell and he gives you your stuff, so you should probably be by the door to save yourself a few seconds there. The Pip-Boy clock runs faster than real life. Going forward, we're going to use the term pip minutes and pip hours to refer to time that's on the Pip-Boy. So every pip hour equates to 2 minutes, so the entire run needs to take place in under 48 minutes. Other restrictions include that we're either going to be traveling on foot or via fast travel. We're not going to be using a revolver to teleport around the map. I feel like that defeats the purpose of this particular challenge. We want to see if a courier could reasonably go from Good Springs to the final confrontation within 1 day for him inside of his universe. This is a post-commentary on gameplay I recorded earlier. The video will also be in real time, so even though we may cut to clips of something else, the entire length of the video is how long the actual run takes. Our first stop on our way to Vegas is going to be Hidden Valley. We're going to pick up the location marker there and visit a few other locations on our way up. For reference, when I was clocking this run just going straight to Vegas, I think I could get there in about 6 pip hours. We have to take a special route to trigger certain events in certain orders in order to maximize our time. The route I have now, I believe, takes over 8 pip hours, but less than 9 pip hours. A whole third of our time in this run is just getting to Vegas in the first place. Overall, this run is going to end up being kind of tight, but if we do the correct things in the correct order, it ends up being pretty easy to do consistently. We're just coming up on our first stop here at Hidden Valley. The route we're taking is starting at Good Springs. We're going to go to Hidden Valley, up through Black Mountain, taking the shortcut over the hills. We're going to pick up a location marker for the Ranger's Safe House, and then we're going to head over to Red Rock Canyon to talk to Papa Khan. After we exit from there, we're going to head over to McCarran to take the monorail straight to the Strip, and that'll be our route to Vegas. For DLC, I'm using the Old World Blues expansion for the skilled trait, and I'm also using the Courier stash to take advantage of the Mercenary Grenade Rifle and the light armors available in the mini packs. This run originally started with me trying to see how much I could accomplish in 24 hours, which not only included trying to get to the Battle of Hoover Dam, but also things like collecting 10,000 caps and a few valuable items like stealth boys, good armor, good weapon. Ultimately, to hit that 24-hour mark, I would have to incorporate some speedrunning strategies. I'll try to point those out as they come up. Right here, the game remembers to turn on the clouds. There we go. Also, you can see I'm being chased by a few rad roaches here, or barb scorpions as they are. I'm going to go ahead and launch a grenade at them to try to get a little bit of extra XP, although this isn't really necessary. I'm actually just that good. But finding Benny and completing the They Want That Away quest is going to give us more than enough XP to work with for this build. It's useful to remember that in New Vegas, NPCs have a roaming range, so those barb scorpions won't be chasing us any longer. Coming up here on Neil's shack, I'm going to try to save a little bit of time by not talking to Neil, so hopefully he doesn't catch us here. After that, we're going to be coming up on perhaps the most important location for this entire run. This one location allows the whole run to work. Oh, he did catch us. I got stuck on that rock. Unfortunate. Doesn't waste too much time, but, you know, every second does count in this run. We're coming up on what I now refer to as the God Canyon. This one area allows you to get over Black Mountain, lets you bypass all the death claws, which is nice and of its own. It also comes with an NCR suit of armor, which allows us to sneak into a few locations throughout this run, and just beyond it is a valuable fast travel marker that'll help us save quite a bit of time. Many mechanics in this version of Fallout work rather odd. Fast travel is no exception to that. I'll be sure to go into more detail on that later in this run, but for now let's get through the God Canyon. Thanks to our high repair, we can take out a few of these bear traps without getting stuck in them, although that isn't the reason I took repair. I'll come back to that when it comes up. I feel like this is kind of a bad omen here, where I just barely slip past this boulder right as it scrapes off my back. A sign of things to come on this somewhat unfortunate run, but one that was successful. I'll never claim to be perfect, but I will claim to be perfectly adequate. For right now, you're going to want to go north and follow this little location marker for an undiscovered location to pick up the, well, fast travel for one, but also NCR Ranger Safe House. We will be back here several times during this run. After that, we're going to head straight over to Red Rock Canyon to talk to Papa Khan. I'll also say that during this segment of the game, it can be challenging to get through this area without attracting hostiles. If you need to reload a save, that's fine. This isn't a speedrun based off of out-of-universe time. This is based off of pip time, which we have all the time in the world. So if you make a few mistakes, it's okay to reload. You still complete the challenge, even if your character is to die or you were to fail in some other way. You can keep on trying until the time's up. Just now, I decided to head over the road first to avoid some death claws that are right to the left as you get past the God Canyon. I'm also setting a marker to sort of point myself in the right direction here. So after the death claws, your next major obstacle is to jump over a fence that's coming up soon. After you hurdle that jump, we're going to be heading over the mountains just before Red Rock Canyon, which are infested with fire geckos, which can be a pretty good run-ender in this particular challenge, and hopefully I'll navigate through that first try. We'll see. During my warm-up run for this particular run here, I did get caught off guard by the fire geckos and had to reload from about this fence right here, which was rather frustrating. My main advice is that the adults are really what gets you. The smaller fire geckos are a lot less threatening. So I'm going to go a route that I've tested a few times and is pretty consistent, getting past the adults and only triggering some of the smaller geckos. The reason I'm not going left around the canyon is I think there's a deathclaw over there, or at least early on when I was testing this run, I ran into a deathclaw and decided that that wasn't the optimal route. Instead, it'd be better to go over the top, because at the very least I can usually outrun the fire geckos into the safety of Red Rock Canyon and out of the roaming range of the fire geckos. Once we're done talking to Papa Khan, our next stop is to get to McCarran, which means we're going to have to hightail it through some fiend territory, which the fiends aren't too bad. They're a lot less bad than the fire geckos. The fire geckos, I think because their flames cut through your armor pretty well, they can really get after you. They also do a ridiculous amount of melee damage, especially the big ones, and they can cripple your limbs, which when you're trying to run away from something and suddenly your legs don't work, that makes the whole experience a heck of a lot harder. I try to zigzag my way up this hill right here, headed towards these Brock flowers, try to jump over this rock, got stuck, embarrassingly, and now everyone's seen that. I'm trying to play it off really cool and coy right now, like that totally didn't happen, but I feel like we all know. I feel like we're all aware now, especially since I brought it up. Well, speaking of getting noticed, there are some fire geckos who have noticed me. I'm going to try to lose them by heading around this very steep incline right here, all the way around, and then hopefully just hit a few small geckos on the other side. I know there's a few small geckos in a little canyon over the side of this rock right here. In the few tests I've done, it's typically only them that's following me, but then I get to about right here and see like one that I think is pretty big. I get a little bit toasted by that fire right there, but I'm still cool. I'm still keeping it together, you know. I'm making sure to keep an eye on my health bar in case I need to pop that back up. And again, because we have the courier stash and we started Doc Mitchell's house, we should have more than enough healing items to just tank through here. And in fact, I think I'm about to go ahead and open up that and get myself a medics and a bunch of food for passive healing. I'm realizing now that I'm doing a live post commentary, or would it be a post live commentary? Anyway, now I'm just commenting on what's happening in real time, but afterwards, I guess I should have just recorded what I was doing while I was doing it. It probably would have made this whole process a lot simpler. And oh, look at that, there's several large geckos after me, which is exactly what I said wouldn't happen. So now the run's falling apart and I'm sweating from all over my body. I'm trying to figure out my next step. I'm healing myself up. I'm just going, well, if I can just get to Red Rock Canyon, if I can just get into the canyon, and they're still chasing me, if I can just get inside that canyon, everything's going to turn out great. And it doesn't, so, you know, we're just going to keep trying, though. if you're doing a proper playthrough of Fallout New Vegas, Red Rock Canyon is a good place to pick up a few turbos. I can pretty consistently find 2 of them. The wiki says there's 3. I don't know if there's 3. I feel like I've searched the entire place top to bottom and I can only ever find 2 of them. And the 2 that you can find, I'm pretty sure, are in a shack that was just copy and pasted from one side of the camp to the other side of the camp. But look at that. The Geckos have finally ended their chase range, but they're well within the canyon, and I have literally never seen this in any of my test runs. They have always stopped, fought the bighorners, and then been trapped halfway across the field, never to bother me again. But now, for the first time, there's a brand new obstacle in this run, and I'm gonna have to deal with it. But you know, I'm good at rolling with the punches, and that's what we're gonna do. We're just gonna deal with that when it comes up. Right now, it's not a problem. Our only problem is talking to Papa Khan. We will circle back to that. The ending we're shooting for is the independent Vegas ending, or the Yes Man ending, because it has the least amount of steps. And the steps that are there are mostly going and talking to people or telling Yes Man, no, I don't actually want to do that quest. We're going to get in here, talk to Papa Khan, ask him about the history of his people. Any version of it's fine. Once we're done with that, we're headed over to New Vegas via the McCarran monorail. About right here, I remember the fire geckos waiting for me at the end of the Red Rock Canyon, but I choose to sort of live in a state of denial about that up to the point where I actually have to deal with it. In the meantime, I'm going to go ahead and whip out the Pip-Boy and set a marker to McCarran to help me navigate towards it. I'm going to go ahead and set the location marker to the correct location on the first try. It's also been 7 pip hours since the start of the run. I'm just going to move this location mark over here because it's just a more efficient route to get to McCarran, now that I think about it. Does anyone else feel, I might be the only person that feels this way, but I don't really understand the cons in like their concept. I feel like the game presents them as sort of a sympathetic group, but their entire history is they raid the NCR or some hero associated with the NCR shows up, wipes them out, and that's the entire story they have over and over and over again. Like, I feel like if the cons just would stop attacking the NCR would stop fighting back, but like that's probably just like an opinion now that I think about it. Anyhows, we have fire geckos to deal with. Fortunately, grenades are very useful at crippling legs and allowing us to run faster than our enemies, so we'll just go ahead and launch a couple grenades that way. And we didn't take him out, but we did get rid of his head, so we can't hit us with a flamethrower. Things are going great. We have next to no health. I was spamming that button trying to open up my Pip-Boy, but it just wouldn't do it, and it was driving me insane. You know, we're taking a couple swipes, but you know, nothing we can't deal with. Our leg's gone now, so things are going great. We can go ahead and use the doctor's bag and a few more stim packs. We're just going to keep going. If we can't see the danger, it's like it doesn't even exist. We're just going to keep going towards our goal. And as long as we keep taking one step forward, we're not taking any steps back. Is that right? I think that's right. If we jump over these rocks here, we can mess up their pathfinding, which is going to help us get further away from them. But they are ridiculously fast. They are way too fast and do way too much damage. But they're also a late-game enemy. And I suppose the developers were trying to subtly hint to us to not go this direction, instead go somewhere else. I will not be stopping and looking at Chance's map over to the left there, no matter how cool it is. On the bright side, we've just hit the edge of their roaming range, and we will no longer be followed by geckos. The geckos are in the past, and the future is full of raiders, many raiders on our way to the NCR camp to ultimately get to our final destination. And I, for one, am looking forward to it. If you were doing an ordinary run of the game, this is a pretty good route in order to collect all the bounties for the fiend bosses, or what would you call them? The fiend bosses, fiend overbosses, fiend leaders? Probably fiend leaders. There's the dog over there. I'm going to stop here at this little gas station and pick myself up a magazine and a repair kit, or just a weapon repair kit. The magazine went right through the floor of the car, so I can't get that. A good strategy right here is to head towards this little alleyway up ahead. I'm going to start doing that, but then I'm going to see a few raiders over on my left. I'm going to become very, very afraid and turn right and try to get a little further away from them. And then go, you know what, maybe I should go straight towards the alley. I don't know what I'm doing. I'm spending a lot of time out of cover and just getting decimated. Hopefully the people are a little bit further away on the other side. Nope, they're right in the middle. I'm going to juke this guy, eat it, and I'm going to take a lot of damage from this particular individual, who, I don't know what he had. It sounds like a shotgun now that I think about it, which seems a bit overpowered at this point in the game. It says my armor's about to die, so I'm going to switch off my armor, and I'm going to take I think the remainder of my food, quite a bit of it, and I'm just gonna keep going. Take a super stim back. I'm just gonna keep going. I'm not worrying about it. It's in the past. The future is bright. The future is the NCR ahead of us, not the fiends we met along the way. That fiend did not like my pun. He threw a grenade at me. I would do the same thing if I was in his position, honestly. Now we're going to be aiming towards this bridge right here, because if you try to go low, there's mines down there. We're going to tightrope walk along this because it confuses the NPCs and they can no longer follow me. And one quick little jump right here to save us half a second, which half seconds really add up in this. And now we're home free to McCarran. I'm glad the NCR conscript right there, who was dragged out of his house at 17 years old to go die in this desert fighting Caesar Legion for his great republic, decided not to help me at all. I'm going to give you a quick tip right here as we go through this loading screen right after I'm going to explain something that happened during this run. So while you're going through loading screens, if you hold down a direction on your keyboard, you will be going in that direction when you load into the area. You'll get an extra second or so of movement. And again, seconds add up in this run. During this run, when I got to New Vegas and I got into the White Glove Society, my audio cut out, and shortly after I had a loading bug and could not reload that save. As you saw, I just made a quick save when I entered McCarran. For this run, I would fall back to that quick save and continue my run from there. I'm also going to point out when I cut the two videos together, just for the sake of transparency, I assure you that the time still matches up, and again, we're going off of pip time, not real life time. This isn't like a speedrun or anything. This is just for funsies. When you get up to this corner right before the monorail, go ahead and pop on your armor you got from the God Canyon, and you're allowed to just walk on past the guards without getting shot at. Although it's not really that hard to walk past them anyway, it's more so an annoyance that I don't really want to deal with. And right afterwards, I'm going to pop my light armor back on because heavier armor slows you down. Fun fact for you, this method of travel on the monorail, I believe, is the only method of travel that takes 0 time. It's also been 7 pip hours since the start of the run. 7.5 pip hours, actually. So earlier, at the Hidden Valley, when I was talking about how long the run would take, I was wrong. Sometimes you can slip past this guy if you jump over and maintain your momentum, but unfortunately I couldn't do that today. The loading screen between this door right here and the strip is where I cut the two videos together. Also, if you're streaming or recording a video for YouTube, about 10 seconds ago is when you would go ahead into your settings and turn off the audio for the music. Otherwise, the strip is going to blast copyright music at you at full volume. You're welcome. This next segment of the game is the most convoluted and most important steps in order to make sure you arrive at the final destination on time. We're going to be going through a lot of loading screens, so I will try my best to be clear. Basically, we're going to be going in a clockwise manner. We're going to go left into the White Glove Society, the Tops, the Gomorrah, then the Lucky 38, and finally return to the Tops. First off in the White Glove Society, we're going to talk to Mortimer. We're going to learn a little bit about him and his organization, and then once we do that, we don't have to come back in here. It's awful nice of the developers to allow us a way to beat the game by not playing the game whatsoever. Somewhat curious that maybe they thought of a run like this being possible, and maybe they designed some stuff around it. God Canyon, for example, having a lot of useful things around it for a run we were trying to be as fast and efficient as possible. Although that location is useful for any sort of run, I suppose. I'm probably just making stuff up at this point. I'm going to jump over these playing card tables because I do not respect the White Glove Society, but it is also faster, so there's two things here. I'm going to aim for my favorite door at the Tops, and then once we're inside, we're going to hand over our guns and finish the They Want That Away quests and do quite a bit of leveling, and we're going to take care of Benny and get the Platinum Chip. I'm going to show you in these next few levels what's necessary to beat this run, but then after that, just point my character towards a level 100 speech courier that could beat the game at that point if you wanted to beat the game after you started the Battle of Hoover Dam. All you need to do is see Benny. Sometimes he's up there at the top of the steps, sometimes he's going towards his position over on the other side of the casino. And right here, I'm going to knock my speech up to 60 to pass a check that Benny's about to present me. And I'm going to dump the remainder of my points into melee weapons for a little surprise I have planned for Benny in about 30 seconds or so. For your first perk, it doesn't matter all too much. I'm going to go ahead and take intensive training to get myself a little bit more endurance, a little bit more health, but this one's kind of a throwaway. It's not necessary for the end of the game. I'm going to go ahead and walk up to Benny and get him up to his room by asking him for the Platinum Chip. I'm going to see what do you have in mind, and once he tells me, I'm going to pass the speech check, and send him up to the presidential suite alone with me, the man that he killed 3 days ago that has now risen from the grave. I'm going to dump my points into survival because I need 45 survival for level 4. And then I'm going to put a few more points into medicine just to dump the points over there. I'm going to level up a 3rd time, all the way up to level 4. I'm going to start putting my speech up to level 100 so I can beat the game if I want to, and then grab the Travel Light perk. The Travel Light perk is the most important perk in the game, and I'm going to reset my armor to make sure it's on. When you have the Travel Light perk and you're wearing light armor, you move 10% faster. If you don't have this, you can't beat the game, at least doing the run I have. Now that we're alone with Benny, I'm going to pick up a pool cue because I need a weapon. Let me go ahead and see if I can get hidden. Once I get hidden, I'm going to get a sneak attack on him to do a bunch of damage. And then I'm going to, with, a little bit of emotion, a little bit of anger, a little bit of rage from what this man did to me, I'm going to politely, beat him to death with a pool cue and take every possession he ever had. A truly climactic battle, if there ever was one. Absolute peak fiction. Now, the next steps are so convoluted, I think I have to sit here and check my notes real quick. Alright, so to be clear, we are not going to talk to Yes Man yet. I am going to be going straight over to the Gomorrah. Right? Again, it's White Glove Society, Tops, Gomorrah, Lucky 38, back to Tops. We're going to head over to the Gomorrah Casino right now, so that we can meet the tribe over there. If you're thinking of gambling in any of these casinos, gambling does take in-game time, because in order for that little calculation to run, the game has to be running. I don't know how long it takes, but again, we're trying to avoid wasting any time, if possible. We're going to talk to the Caesar guy, and we're going to go over here and get some magazines, and I'm going to waste an extra few seconds making sure I open every single one of those for free magazines. Here's a little fun bit of kind of behind the scenes right here that I've decided to include in the final run. I'm going to go up and talk to Victor. I'm going to have an actual factual double take right there inside of the game. I'm going to reload the autosave because I remembered I'm supposed to go to the Gomorrah first. Again, when you walk through there, you go to the Gomorrah, not the Lucky 38. Inside the Gomorrah, we're going to talk to the Omertas. They're going to take our guns away, and then we're just going to leave. Now we're going to head over to Lucky 38 and do what we have to do over here with Mr. House. We are not going to talk to Mr. House because he's going to take away our platinum chip. The platinum chip allows us to pass I believe a hard terminal check, a hard science check, so that we can get into Mr. House's inner sanctum and take care of him, get him out of the way, so that way he can be replaced by the Yes Man. We're going to head up to the casino and we're going to put that plan into motion. Although, Mr. House is actually up in the penthouse, not the casino. Anyway, we're going to jump over this railing, save us a little bit of time. We're going to pop open this terminal, which we can only access this way if we have the platinum chip, which is why we went to Benny first. Although, if you do deliver the platinum chip, you get 1,000 caps if you want an extra 1,000 caps in a regular run. And you can still do the Yes Man ending even if Mr. House has the platinum chip, because Yes Man just gets it if you get rid of him. But then you have to pass a terminal check. Alright, so we're going to go in here. We're going to wake up a 200-year-old man. And we're just going to, back out of the room, whip our grenade launcher, and let that take care of the rest. And that's how you defeat one of the most powerful men to ever exist. The final stop on our little parade around the strip is to go back to the Tops and talk to Yes Man. Starting from when you arrive on the strip, you want to go to the White Gloves, talk to Mortimer. Go to the Tops, deal with Benny. Head over to the Gomorrah, talk to the Omertas. Head over to Lucky 38, get rid of Mr. House, and then go back to the Tops, speak with the Yes Man, and receive the quest you need to finish the game. The dialogue with Yes Man is its own little minefield to navigate, and I'm sure that during this run I went through it very quickly, and it's very easy to understand. If you're going this way, it might be easier to grab the magazines, although I seem not to believe so while I was playing through. We have a little bit of downtime here, so I guess it's time to explain the remainder of the run. There is going to be 2 more tribes to talk to, the Boomers and the Brotherhood. For the Brotherhood, we're going to be able to teleport back there, but for the Boomers, we're going to have to travel there on foot. So it's going to take us a few pip hours to get over there, talk to them, and then make our way back down south to ultimately finish the game. And the reason we're going to visit Yes Man after killing Benny and after going to the Lucky 38 and dealing with Mr. House is because that means we don't have to come back to the Tops a 3rd time, right? We don't have to make an extra trip around that corner to come up here and talk to him.
Hey! Hi there!
So here's how the conversation goes. We ask what's up with him, ask a few more questions about him, tell him we have a platinum chip. I'm actually being pretty slow right here. Oh, good job. What was Benny planning to do with this chip? He's very forthcoming with the information. Say I want to take over Vegas for myself, and he starts to explain the plan. What are the details of the plan?
Again.
Then after that, we're going to say these tribes I should get to know about. Then we're going to ask again about the tribes. And then after that, we're going to say, let's talk about the tribes. So 3 tribe options. And we're going to say, all right, the Khans, we can leave them alone. I already visited them. The Omertas, I visited them. We can leave them alone. And Mortimer at the White Glove Society, I visited him. So we can also leave them alone. So all that's left here is the Boomers and the Brotherhood. Wow, at this point in this conversation, I remembered I had to make a video and was really slow and thoughtful about it. All right, now we can tell them, go ahead and join me over in the Lucky 38. So next time you see Yes Man, it's going to be inside the Lucky 38. And now we begin our journey over to the Boomers. While I was practicing for this run, I originally did not tell Yes Man to go over to the Lucky 38. And it actually killed my run. It made me an hour and a half pip minutes late getting back to the Lucky 38 and ending the game. So at this point, you need to make sure he's over there at the Lucky 38, ready to take your final command. I think I was checking right there. It's been about 10 hours, so we're roughly halfway through the game. And even though it's taken us quite a bit of time to get here, it's going to take us even more time to get over the final finish line. Let's be conscientious about that. I think I will make another video that follows this up and sort of shows what's like a really optimal run to do early on, because at this point in the game you should be able to find about 5 of the snow globes, make about $10,000 by delivering them to Mr. House. I'm also going to jump over here on the right side of the gate because I don't want to talk to old Ben there. You know, he's alright, but I just don't want him to take up my time right now, you know? I'm a busy man, I'm a busy courier, I got things to deliver, mostly in the form of grenades to shins at this point in the game. Fellows will grow up in Freeside and say, well, at least I'm not Californian. Also kind of an odd, tenuous relationship around here. Like, this place was full of nothing but a bunch of tribals poking each other with sticks up until the NCR showed up. Now there are a bunch of tribals poking each other with sticks, but now they have clean food and water just outside the gate. Probably good that we got rid of Mr. House. Seems like the type of society he makes where there's a bunch of really, really rich people blowing all their money inside the gate, and outside there's a bunch of really, really poor people, including children chasing around rats to eat that night. Also, if you're coming to visit the strip, you need to hire hired guns to help you get all the way through. Seems like it doesn't do a lot of, you know, civic engineering, you know, not a lot of long-term planning right there. Now we're on our way to go visit the Boomers. Pretty quaint people, but they're kind of out of the way. Luckily though, when you're coming out of the north side of Vegas here, there's not a lot of enemies to deal with. There's like a little bit of radiation, some mole rats over on the right. On the left, there's some crazy rabbit cows. One slick talking salesman, but I mean, outside of that, it's peaceful out here, frankly. I mean, if there's going to be anywhere you want to live, the ruins of the city of Las Vegas are apparently pretty good. Which is odd, because if you contrast that with, say, DC from Fallout 3, that place was an absolute war zone. Like, you figured there'd be a heck of a lot of more problems around Vegas, but there's only the fiends on the southwest side. Oh well. It's also about time that we speak about fast travel. Fast travel in this game is weird. It doesn't work exactly how you might think it would work. So basically, wherever you're traveling, it's pretty sure it's a direct route. It's usually quicker than walking there, but there's a quirk to it. If you're traveling somewhere and it takes less than 1 pip hour to get there, then it uses accurate pip minutes. Say it takes 27 pip minutes to get somewhere on the map, it would take you exactly 27 pip minutes to fast travel there. After 1 pip hour, it rounds down to the previous pip hour. So in reality, there's these teleportation zones. It goes from 0 to 60 pip minutes, and then you go into the 1 pip hour zone. And then after another hour of fast travel, then you go into the 2 pip hour zone, and et cetera, and et cetera. And we're going to exploit this a little bit more later. But for now, I'm going to send a grenade over to this guy because I don't want to talk to him. This ought to teach you that gambling's bad for you. Unless you have 10 luck, then it's very profitable. We're going to go ahead and head through the bombardment up ahead here. Since we don't have any turbo, I'm going to go ahead and show you the route by first skirting around the left side and heading in the middle of the buildings. If you were to do a regular run, I'd recommend picking up that turbo I pointed out to in Red Rock Canyon, and then just using that to just skirt past the left area right there. Get stuck in that little part right there, but the main idea is to go up that left area and then just sort of run through the middle right here. And get hit by that by that 1 artillery piece, and use a doctor's bag. Again, we have plenty of healing, so even if you take a couple of knocks, you should be able to get through this relatively unfazed. I'd recommend not jumping, because you can be launched across the map. And then we have a couple more crippled limbs right there. Gonna go ahead and heal the ones that are important, and we're almost out of stim packs. But we did make it. Watch out for that debris right there. Thank the developers that we have such an easy run doing the Yes Man quest right here. All I have to do is talk to Miss Pearl, and then we could be sent on our way.
I'll take this from here.
After we're done talking to Pearl, we're going to go to the Brotherhood,
Raquel.
and we're going to take advantage of the fast travel system I mentioned earlier. So if we were to go straight to Hidden Valley, that would take 3 hours to travel straight there. However, if we were first to travel to the Ranger Station, which we picked up on the way here right after Black Mountain, we could teleport there in 2 pip hours. And then once we're there, we'll be able to teleport a second time for a lot less time. I think it's exactly 50 pip minutes. So doing this route will help us save 20 pip minutes in total, which is worth it in this run. During my test run, I think I got lost in Hidden Valley. Anyway, you just need to head sort of to the west-northwest, and you'll arrive at the bunker you need to go to. I was running around here for about 5 minutes and had to reload my save from right outside of Pearl in order to actually find the bunker in time. This next part is kind of a glitch, kind of an exploit, and I'm no expert at it, so it's going to take me a few tries here. You're going to go ahead and get out your grenade rifle, and you're going to walk through this door and walk backwards, and before it closes on you, you're going to shoot a grenade. The timing on this is a bit tight. I'm going to get it wrong a few times, but eventually I'll get it right. And by doing this, you will glitch the game into thinking that you've met the Brotherhood, and you can continue the story even though you haven't spoken to them or wiped them out or anything. Now we can just head back to Yes Man, and we're almost done with the game. There's only one little small quest thing we need to do. And again, we're going to take advantage of the fast travel system. We're going to teleport first to the Ranger Station, which will take us 50 pip minutes. And then from there, we can teleport directly to the Strip North Gate. It'll take us 2 pip hours instead of 3 pip hours going directly from Hidden Valley. This is all a very convoluted way to shave a single minute off of the whole run, but it's absolutely worth it when you only have about 48 to work with. I get stopped by Old Ben, which, you know, it happens, but at least we can just say no with this guy. We don't have to ask a couple of questions. And now we're going to go up into the Lucky 38, because Yes Man is up there, and he's ready for us to deliver the chip. While we're there, we can also complete the quest to talk to the Boomers and the Brotherhood. Unfortunately for our run, I don't believe there's a way to skip the demonstration or speed the demonstration up in any way. I think all the events that are happening in the game are tied directly to the animations the Securitrons are doing and not to things like the voice lines. It's going to take us about 1 pip hour to get through this. I think I'll also take a break during this run to go do a couple of things. Luckily we get a level up afterwards, so I don't waste any time when I get back. If you want to go ahead and skip ahead instead of sitting here and waiting, then you can go ahead and go to 3530 on the timeline, and that'll do you.
Thanks.
Oh hey, it looks like you're sticking around. Well, I appreciate you watching all the way through. So I guess while we're here, I can go ahead and give you a rant. So for Fallout 4, I'm doing a little bit of modding in Fallout 4, making the game more like how I want it to be. I'm doing things, I'm like, it's just a little simple mod, like updating things, like adding a little bit more details, a couple more notes, some extra lore and items and areas I think they should belong in. One of the things I wanted to do was start the player in the vault coming out of the cryopod, which is decently easy to do because it's its own scene that you can just load directly into once a certain trigger is met. However, during the character creation of Fallout 4, I ran into a really weird problem. So when you're making your character in Fallout 4, you start as Nate, right? He says war never changes, and you start editing him. Anyway, Nate in that scene, that is the player character in the game. That is the player character of the game. Nate is the player character, and Nora is an NPC. Now here's what happens, right? So I put vault suits on both of them, and I'm trying to make it, I want them both to be wearing vault suits, so it looks like they're in the vault, it looks like they're vault dwellers. You edit their appearance, and then once you're done, it loads into the scene where you're coming out of the cryopod. Now here's where the problem comes in. Because Nate is the player character, if you edit Nora, if you edit the female protagonist, right, you switch over to Nora, you start editing the woman. When that scene ends, and you load into the game, and you start playing the game, you start playing through the introduction, this is what happens. The player character, who is Nate, is teleported to the start location of that scene, right? Right when you're exiting. Nate is then transformed into Nora. He has his sex and appearance changed to match the NPC that you created. Right? The Nora NPC is deleted and replaced with a brand new Nate NPC. This entire thing is so incredibly convoluted. I would figure they would do something where, like, both of them are NPCs and you take control of one of them when the scene's over, But like, no, Nate's the player character, and they had this entire convoluted pack, like stuck together, glued together system in order to make the scene work, and it was just a nightmare to go through the dev kit, the Geck or whatever it's called for Fallout 4, and create that scene and make it work, and not have Nate coming out with a woman's body and blood all around his neck, because there's this entire convoluted scene to make this thing work for this one particular scene. I think everyone's synced back up now. I'm going to go ahead and dump the rest of my points into 100 speech, so that way I can finish the game if I want. And with not a lot of available perks that are really useful to me, I'm going to go ahead and up my endurance as well. The last thing we're going to do in this game is we have to install an override module at a transmission station or something. All I need to know is that the God Valley is coming in handy. Once again, we're going to teleport back to the Ranger safe house, because it is very, very close to the substation, allowing us to quickly walk over there and use the NCR armor we got from the God Valley, or the God Canyon, whatever I called it earlier, to pass through unharmed. It's going to be awesome. I have to put on a conspiracy hat with how useful that one particular part of the map is for this sort of run. Even for a regular run, it's really, really good, which is probably why they put it in there in order for players, especially veteran players who just want to get to the story quicker, go and get to the story quicker without having to waste all this time following Benny when you already know where he is. We're also not going to help President Kimball, because he's not useful for us to get through here. I don't know why the Caesar's Legion shuns us right there, because we don't help them take out the president, but we don't get in their way. We sort of let it happen. You figure the NCR would be the ones that don't like us. Maybe that's an oversight. Anyway, to the Ranger Station. And now, as you see right there, it's going to be a very quick jog over to the substation to power that up. And then from the substation, teleporting back to Vegas, it's going to be 2 pip hours. So hopefully we get done with this before 6 o'clock. We should. So long as it's in the 5 o'clock hour, we'll be able to finish the game with more than enough time. With the timer running down, looks like it's going to take about 39.5 minutes to do the complete run from Good Springs, finishing the conversation with Doc Mitchell, all the way until we confirm with Yes-Man that we do want to go to the dam and finish the fight. So thanks for sticking around so far. I'll be sure to thank you probably 10 more times if I'm being modest. This is going to be the first video that I'm going to coincide with some streaming I'm going to do over on Twitch. On the day this releases, you should be able to come and find me and hang out for a little bit. I think I'll be running it a few more times during that week, and maybe once in a while after that we might do it as a little treat, perhaps. We'll see. But for now, we're going to go over this cliff face right here, and be sure to try to aim for the tree. I've definitely busted my leg a few times going down that, which slows down the run as an annoyance. Right here, you want to go ahead and pop on that NCR armor, so that way the NCR won't bother you as you go in here real quick. Even though it's a red door, nobody cares so long as you're wearing the armor. Pop open this terminal, power the substation, then we're going to teleport directly back to the Strip North Gate. It's going to take us exactly 2 hours. Put on some leather armor for extra speed. It is 5:29 when we get there. It should be 7:29, and I imagine we'll make it into the tops well before the 8 o'clock endpoint. We do have a level up right here. Just going to put some points into whatever, medicine for some extra healing. But yeah, this looks like the end of the run. Unfortunately, this guy just barely, almost made it through the game without getting obliterated. But he does get obliterated, and he gets obliterated by Tier 2 Securitrons instead of the regular Tier 1s. There we go. Thanks to Yes-Man, we're able to go from being a man crawling out of his deathbed to someone who's changing the face of the Wasteland in under 24 hours. What a journey it's been. We're going to go ahead and check the time. 7:39. We've officially completed the game of New Vegas in under 24 hours, according to the Pip-Boy. Thank you all for watching, and with that, start the battle.
Stuff happens, right? Great. All in good luck.
One last time, I really appreciate you guys for watching. The best thing you can do is go ahead and like the video. If you'd like to comment or share it, that would also be greatly, greatly appreciated. And yeah, I'm going to go ahead and play really quickly, just play through the Battle of Hoover Dam, just to show you that this character can go ahead and beat the game. And I guess the only other thing I could ask you to do is maybe subscribe if you liked this content and want to see more of it. Go ahead and check out my Twitch for any available streams now and in the future. And I'm going to go ahead and give this over to the General of the NCR so that way he can play us out.